So,
We're going to need 30 of you. Tell your friends.
yeah, call,
Call your doctor.
call your parents. Get the kids out of bed. Let's get this thing
Get
rolling.
this show on the road, guys.
So,
Let's drink a beer.
coming to you from the Beer to Whiskey Studios on the taproom floor of Greenville Beer Exchange, or GBX, like the cool kids call it, on Lawrence Street in glorious downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of Big Jon in 5. And we call it that because that's where I get my good buddy here, Big Jon Richards, who, as you can see from the identifier, is a certified Cicerone, and he picks a beer from one of GBX's 22 or so taps, or hundreds of bottles and cans that they have in the retail store up front. We sniff, we sip, we kibitz. John tells us a little bit about the brewery. Sometimes we get a little brewing history, and we get to drink lots of beer. Well,
We have to drink
One-
lots of little beers.
one shot at a time.
Yeah.
John, what are we doing?
I have a question before we get started.
Sure.
And I hate to bring up technical things in the middle of the show, but are we not live anymore? Say we're not going to be live anymore? Mostly live or hardly live?
Somewhat live,
Somewhat live?
decidedly live, pathetically live. I thought I'd take a little break.
Okay.
A little break from that. We are still obviously live because here we are, right? But I just decided
Okay.
that maybe I would take a small respite.
Right. See how it works?
It's a little quicker to get, although you've eaten it all up now. In fact, you've
You're
more
welcome.
than eaten it up in this. Now suddenly it's running longer before we get to the meat of the matter. But
I'm only going to ask that question once today.
wait until he has a couple more beers and doesn't remember he already asked it. I just
Hopefully.
sat down today and I thought, I'm just going to try this out and
Yeah.
do a more abbreviated version of
Yeah.
the intro
I like it.
and see if it builds our subscribers. I expect to see the the
Dramatic
number of
jump.
subscribers grow exponentially.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get up to 25,
I mean, we can. Yeah.
26.
Yeah.
I'm shooting for 30s. That's
That's
what
what
I'm
we're going
aiming
for. That's the moon.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
We're going to need 30 of you. Tell your friends.
yeah. Call
Call your doctor.
call your parents. Get the kids out of bed. Let's get this thing
Get
rolling.
this show on the road, guys.
So,
Let's drink a beer.
let's drink some beer.
So we have a Munkle beer in front of us down here in Charleston.
I love the name Munkle.
Do you know where it came from?
Monks?
Basics, kinda.
Monkeys?
He named his brewery after his uncle, and he and his uncle were only born like 3 months apart, I think. And so it's his uncle and best
It
friend.
is South Carolina. Go ahead.
So his uncle brewed with Benedictine monks. He was a monk and brewed in Michigan with Benedictine monks, found this thing and started brewing, started teaching our guy at Munkle. And so he's been calling his uncle Munkle forever because he was a monk and an uncle. And so he named his brewery Munkle after his best friend and his Munkle. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but
Misty,
I'm getting a little misty.
100%.
I'm getting a little misty over
Yeah,
here.
I love that stuff.
Oh, I do
But that's
too.
part of the reason, a large part of the reason why they brew mostly old world styles. A lot of Belgian stuff. They really kind of founded their brewery as a Belgian-style brewery, and they do a lot of German-style stuff now too. But mostly old world styles. that are all really well done, and this triple is superb.
I'm looking forward to this. I saw it on the board when we came in today, and I thought, do we need to do that? Because I don't think we have done it. We might have.
I'd be surprised. We didn't go look, so
We did not.
but
I
I'd
did
be
not research it,
surprised.
but I don't think we've done it. And it sounded really good to me.
Yeah, this is going to be a good palate cleanser because we've been doing some pumpkin beers and some seasonal stuff, and
This has
is
been-
going to be that classic.
It's been pumpkin palooza today. We're now on our sixth.
I think sixth,
episode,
yeah.
seventh, somewhere in there, and 3 of them were pumpkin beers of some sort. And if I have my way, and I may well, because this is sort of my gig, we may do one more because it just sounds really good to me.
Right.
But let's get on with
Well,
this.
let's do this. So we're doing a Belgian-style triple, which is the golden side of Belgian Abbey beer, Trappist beer. There's double, triple, and quad, but they don't can't in any real English way translate the way we think about those words, except that the alcohol goes up.
Well, there you go.
So that's really what it comes down to. But I don't want a 30-minute episode. 18's long enough.
Don't worry, it's not going to be that long.
But triple's actually a pretty new style.
Really?
I think. Oh mercy! You're gonna have minutes of me trying to remember the name of the brewery, the name of the actual monastery, that one of the Trappist monasteries that invented this style. So
Well,
all I've got in my head is Vestleder, and it wasn't them, and I just can't remember it.
Let's press forward.
We're
and if
gonna,
it pops in your head.
That's exactly
Just
what we're gonna do.
blurt it out like you have Tourette's.
It's just gonna pop right out there. So when this brewery, this unnamed brewery that Russ will just correct me on the bottom of the screen, started brewing this beer, they brewed it as a concession to people who kept coming to the monastery asking for like Pilsner. No joke.
Why would they do that?
Because people wanted something lighter and cleaner, something a little fresher, brighter tasting, and the Abbey beers just weren't that. They were all the darker figs and dates and raisins side of things, and the darker color, and so people came in and wanted something brighter and lighter. And these guys, I was there for a second, and then it left. I'm not even going to try and remember. Started brewing this triple as a golden beer, like 9%. So it's still a big beer, but it's golden and it's bright, and it's typically out of a triple, you're almost always going to get banana, almost always going to get clove, similar to the way you get it out of a Hefeweizen. A lot of triples, I end up getting pears and apples out of the front end. And that's a fermentation product too. That's one of the reasons this beer becomes my default beer for bringing a lot of white wine drinkers into the fold. You got a Chardonnay drinker and you want to introduce them to beer, Belgian Tripel. That is the way to go. It's almost fail-safe. So we're going to dive into this one. They do this as a really nice traditional beer. Super clear, super well filtered, as you can see. Some of the ones you get from Belgium, they can get kind of hazy and unfiltered looking. It just depends on which monastery or abbey you're going to. But a lot of the traditional triple is very, very clear, very bright. And then you get that little spice on the finish. You get a little fruity sweetness up front. You get a nice, firm, full body, and a really, really drinkable 9% beer.
Well, enough talk.
Let's do it.
Text Miss Lily.
Kaboom. That's super nice. Get a lot of banana in that one right up front. That
Yeah.
banana's really quick,
Yep.
right up there.
Yep.
I get that spice on the finish. I feel a little peppery bite from the alcohol. You know what? I didn't even look at what the ABV is on this one. I didn't even look. I bet it's 9.5. I'm gonna guess. It's a straight guess.
I can't say it. It's
Yes.
8 something.
Oh
I
my
think.
goodness! No, it's 8.2.
Yeah, it's 8 something.
Wow, That's a big beer for it to be 8.2. That's a lot of flavor. Wow, good job.
It is, but I really like the flavor of this.
It's
And
super fun.
It's banana, you're right. Although I don't know if you hadn't said banana that I would have recognized that as banana.
Right.
But that's what it is.
It's still subtle. It's not like banana cream pie. It's got a neat spice on the finish. It's got a little bit of that peppery bite to it.
And I think it's got a little bit of a bready thing going on.
It does. It does. It's like a. I was just gonna say. I thought you were gonna say pretzel, and that's what was in my head. And maybe that's why I thought you were gonna say pretzel. There's that kind of. It's almost a pretzel-y kind of a breadiness. That's that. It's a white bread thing, but it's dense, and you get that firm breadiness out of a pretzel. That's what I'm getting out of this. It's a light breadiness, but it's firm. And then the end of it, it's in the very back of it that I'm lingering with the pears and apples that I usually get. Guys, it sits with me. Longer and longer it sits with me. And as I talk over it, I feel like I'm tasting like really fresh, like Anjou pears. Juicy pear.
Maybe I need to talk more,
Okay.
but I don't have anything to say. I could tell you the story about me putting a Murphy bed together, or sort of putting it together.
I'm supposed to hear that at some point today.
But you want to talk about a 25-minute episode, that's what this would turn into. And we'd have to go get refills.
More.
Yeah, we wouldn't make it through on this.
I might get that story over dinner.
Because that's what it's going to take, I
Yeah.
think.
Or packing up, one of the two. It's hard to say. We're storytellers. We like telling stories.
Indeed. I'm still not getting the pear and apple.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I think I think it's the dominant thing that's happening on the end for me. But it may just be that I'm used to it and I know what I'm looking for.
Well,
and so I'm finding it whether it's there or not.
You're a big apple guy to begin with.
I am. I tend to taste that in a lot of things, not least of which is whiskey every time, apparently.
Well, not every time, but a lot of times.
Yeah. I do tend to taste apple in a lot of things. It's just a thing my palate. I got a receptor that likes apples. That's how it is.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right?
And I have reached the point where I kind of agree with him on a lot of, when we're sipping bourbon,
Yeah.
I will be thinking about apples because I'm thinking about John
Me thinking about
apples. And I'm like, yeah, I can kind of find an
Yeah.
apple in here. I can't find it in this.
Well, that's fair. It's okay. Let's get these people out of here. But
But
I
I
want to
do
say,
like this.
I want to say some nice things about Munkle before I do, because they are one of our gems in South Carolina. Their beers are always good. I think they opened in 2013, I think is what I read, and they opened up while I still had Growler Station open down there. So
Yeah.
that's in the vicinity. And they came around with some, right off the bat, some really, really good Belgian-style beer. And they haven't let up, and their beer has really gotten, this is a mature beer. This is a really, really well done beer. And their beer across the board, it feels put together in a way that sometimes you don't get even in craft.
This has some nice. This
got
has
some
some
really
nice
nice
lacing,
lacing.
to
Yeah.
it. I don't know whether you can see that, but yeah. So we
Still-
done? So damn lucky. See you next time.